This is Steven from Yu-Gi-Oh! Mennonites, and I'm doing a deck profile of Lair Infernoid. First off, I have Diablos, the boss monster of Lair, of course. I only run him at 1, since he tends to keep me from summoning my Infernoids. He is good to summon, however, when I don't have an Infernoid to banish in graveyard. Of course, 3 of the Searcher are Rwby for Lair. And he's decent to summon when I do have Lair on the field to tribute my opponent's monsters and get Diablos in my graveyard. And my hand trap choice, however, I do not have all the hand traps I want because I do not like spending a lot of money on the game at the current moment. I happen to be running Ghost Spell and Ash Blossom. You've seen in our other video of a Kyber Legend opening, Mike actually got me to Ash Blossom. And Ghost Spell I happened to pull just yesterday. In the terms of the meta, I believe Danger Dark World is going to be a major competitor, which that'll be a whole nother video. I run Ghost Spell. I would like to run her at 2 instead of just 1, but at the moment I just happen to pull 1. And Ash is a very good hand trap. Droll for the Goki players and Sky Strikers are very good. Ghost Stoker I want to run because I want to run Droll, Ash, and Ghost Spell at 2. But he's there just in case I need him. Harmonic is one of the decent Infernoids. He don't cost that much to summon. Banished on my opponent's turn, say Mermails for, say, Dragoons. Its effect is triggering. I contribute my opponent's monster, banish Dragoons from its effect from triggering. Anything in graveyard, essentially, I could keep from triggering as long as I have Lair and Harmonic on the field. Sajet is a good attacker. He banishes 1 from the extra deck when he attacks. It's opponent's choice, unfortunately, but if you're going, say, against Goki, most of the monsters in their extra deck are needed to extra link you, so that can throw a hitch in their plans. Of course, Decatron or Deviati, because Deviati is one of the main boss monsters in the deck. It destroys all spells and traps like a Harpy's Feather Duster. Unfortunately, if you have Lair set, it will destroy your Lair. But all Void Spell and Trap cards are also safe, so it is good to play when you don't have Lair. I would suggest activating Lair after Summon Deviati. Ontadel is the BLS of the deck. The 2800 attack is a good amount of attack. Entras, I would run more than one Entra, but its defense is good. But this Entra is not that great considering most decks special summon, and bouncing back to the hand cannot be that essential sometimes. I could run 3 Compulse and do essentially the same thing at less the cost. A Numku because he destroys everything on field like Regeki and negates spell and traps by tributing. And I run 2 because it's a 3000 attack beat stick. Decatron, the only tuner in the deck, could become any Infernoid. Of course, he would run 3. Seismos at 1. Personally, I don't think Seismos is that good because you have to declare an attack and destroy a monster for its effect to trigger. Betrulia is probably one of my favorites. Destroy something instantly, it can attack, but still that is a decent cost for destroying something on the field. That's it for the monsters. Spell-wise, 1 for 1, get Decatron out, of course. Decatron's effect triggers as soon as it's summoned. Reasoning to get my resources in the graveyard. I do only run Terraforming at 1 because I have 3 of the Lair of Darkness in the deck. It kind of gets repetitive having more than 1 Terraforming. Honestly, I don't think I need 1 Terraforming, but it's there just in case. Enemy controller would be one I replace for Droll and Lockbird or another hand trap. Void Imagination, I think, is a very essential card in this deck since most decks rely on Link summoning nowadays. And when I use Link, or when there's a Link monster on the field, Void Imagination, I have Tierra on the field, and I can essentially just use the summon from the graveyard, or from my deck to the graveyard, get resources in the graveyard, have Tierra on the field. If And Tierra's 3,800 attack. And it's a very strong monster. Its effect is very good, considering 6 monsters I sent to the graveyard, including Deviati and Nonku. So if Tierra is somehow negated or destroyed, I still have 2 of my strongest monsters to summon. The Void Vanishment to get Void Imagination or Void Vanishment into my hand, Void Feast. And 3 Lair of Darkness. And that's the main component of the deck. And it's really nice to tribute my opponent's monsters to trigger my own effects.
Fuck that card.
Mike is not a fan of that card. And Void Feast, essentially summon 3 Void monsters for free. I usually go for Petrulia, Harmonic, and Decatron, and use Decatron's effect to send whatever I need to the graveyard. It's especially good if I have Lair on the field. And then the 1 Mirror Force, which I'm only running for to replace the hand traps I do not have at the moment. Yeah, I still don't like running traps that much because I don't feel like they're that great in the meta. That's it for the main deck. Now for the extra deck, honestly, I do not go into it that often, but Link Karibo in case I can't do anything with Decatron, and I'm in a tight spot. I can save my life points by activating his effect for that turn. Do little Chimera. It's for fire monsters, the Hyperstar for fire monsters. I don't know what the TCG is doing with renaming monsters, but I could add Infernoids back to my hand. Say if I have Entra in the graveyard, add Entra back to my hand, and I could summon it and bounce what's on their field. Plus, if I need to summon another Infernoid, I have Infernoids a level 8 or higher. Link rating doesn't matter to the deck. Master King Archfiend, just go into for a 2 arrows pointing down. Decode Talker, because why not? Decode Talker is good. I'm only running Transcode over Borrelguard. Or not Borrelguard. I keep on saying that today. Borreload. Because Borreload, I do not feel like spending money on, and it's getting reprinted anyways. Now, Omega, I honestly never synchro summon in this deck unless I absolutely have to. I usually summon Tierra and send Omega from the extra deck to the graveyard to trigger its effect, to return a banished monster and return this to the extra deck and shuffle into my deck, which is honestly very useful. Black Rose Dragon, I missed my Ghost Rare, but I have an Ultimate Rare I happen to pick up at a local card shop. It's one of my favorite Ultimate Rares. Black Rose Dragon is a very good card to blow up the field if you have to go into a 7-star. Baguska, just in case I have to go into it, it's good at slowing down for at least 2 turns. Minerva, in case I got a mill Infernoids. Honestly, I've not had a duel where I've been able to summon Minerva. Tornado Dragon's good. Either turn, spell, trap, pop. And this is my second copy of Tornado Dragon. I actually had it before it got reprinted, and I sold it because I had a feeling it was going to get reprinted. Now it's a $2 card, which is awesome. Dante, the same thing, sending cards to the graveyard, and that's the resources for Infernoid. Now I run 27 just because I love this card. I love what it can do. I wish its attack was higher, but its effect to save its destruction once per turn is nice, and if I destroy something on the field by battle, I could either go into number 81 Super Dreadnought Rail Cannon or Super Dreadnought Gustav Max, which I could protect my Infernoid or deal burn damage. And of course the 1 Tierra for Void Imagination, which its effect is good. I have yet to trigger the effect where I send 10 or more Infernoids. There would be a chance I'd do that. And that's it for the Lair Infernoid. Personally, I don't have everything for it. This is the closest I've been having to finished. And I think it's a fun deck. I don't think it'll be super meta relevant. But it's definitely fun to play, especially people that don't like Lair. It's funny to see them get mad at Lair, attributing all their resources. Especially on decks that rely on having graveyard support, I could just banish it.
Card's an amazing rogue competitor at locals.
Yes, I actually a few weeks ago I went against a Pendulum Magician deck before, right after Astrograph got banned, and I actually won that match and everything due to the effect of banishing and tributing. I was able to get rid of Electromite pretty easily. If you tribute the right monsters, this deck could be pretty deadly to some of the meta decks. But it's not consistent enough to be a meta deck, I believe. I just like it personally because it's a different type of deck. And that's all, guys. Thank you for tuning in.